I'm kind of, this is my passion.
That's okay. Ours too. So time gets away from us very easily because we get very, very interested in what people are saying. Because when we're traveling the country and talking to all these people and school owners and instructors and even the students, it's very easy just to get to lose track of time, because sometimes I just can't believe what I'm hearing from people, and I mean that both positively and negatively, and even indifferently. Like, I mean, it's just sometimes I'm so surprised at what I'm hearing, and that's why I'm so glad that we're traveling and doing this, because I would have only listened to my own assumptions about what I thought was going on in the rest of the country with martial arts. I was in a position where I could only assume what people thought, what people felt, what people were doing and teaching. I could only assume, unless you look on the internet, and even when you look on the internet, you still don't get that that personal, I'm sitting here in front of the person approach. And so time definitely gets away from us very easily. So, and it's good because it means that what we're listening to is very, very intriguing and very good. So I'm going to go back to one of the statements you made, which is ego. And I guess
maybe I should just speak freely.
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to. But you said ego, and I'm not surprised you said that. But at the same time,
the humility.
We have definitely noticed. And I speculated that ego is a major, major issue as to why martial arts hasn't been able to spread as efficiently over the last probably 80 to 100 years since martial arts has been in the United States. But we have noticed that there is definitely an ego issue surrounding the martial arts world. And I mean everything from traditional martial arts to every other branch that I mentioned before. And so let's talk a little bit about the ego issue and
self-defense.
And self-defense.
I feel like self-defense, I think even more.
And self-defense. Okay, and so
it's the ego.
Right. And so what would be your if you were speaking to the self-defense profession, would you have any suggestions or advice when it comes to the issue of ego?
Yeah.
Like, how can we fix that problem? How can we address the issue of How can we address the issue of ego so that we can get more people more comfortable to do self-defense?
I think ego is a huge issue
Okay.
with self-defense, because think about whom you are training.
Okay.
So a person who has a huge ego, who is 240 pounds and 6'5",
right,
usually doesn't come in to train with you, right? My partner is 6'3", and he would say to me, I don't really have this problem. I said, yeah, you're 6'3", and you're a guy.
right.
I am 5'4" or something like that, and weigh 125 pounds. I am in a little different position. So ego in the instructor, I think, keeps people out of self-defense training.
I strongly agree.
It keeps organizations from referring to self-defense training, such as the domestic violence shelters, coalitions against domestic and sexual violence. It took me a while to develop trust with these organizations and the people in there, and until they referred. And I'm very proud, I was going to say, but I'm happy that they trust me enough to refer people to me.
Okay.
Because when I have a client come in, I realize that this person may feel uncomfortable, may feel afraid, may feel inadequate, incompetent, may feel ashamed about what happened to her.
Wow.
Why she was sexually assaulted, why she let it happen. And so that's what I start with
Okay.
people.
Okay.
And I think having gone through these experiences myself
Right.
too also helps,
Okay.
because I know what it felt. I know what it feels like when, you know, you've been a class president for years and then you let it happen and you
Right.
got assaulted.
Right.
So the ego, I think, is a huge issue.
Yeah.
Obviously, self-defense instructors should be competent in what they teach, should be professional, should be research-based in what they do and evidence-based, and not
Okay.
just
And not just skills and techniques and drills and stuff like that.
This works for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you should do it this way.
And we have seen a lot of that.
So
we have seen a lot
that's
of
very important, and that's also ego. When I
Okay.
have a person train with me and I realize something doesn't quite work for her, and often it is a female,
that. Right.
then I need to find something different. If she has a shoulder injury or she has wrist injuries, maybe we need to do a different movement. Something works.
Right.
Something will work for her, but you need to check your ego and you need to focus on the client, on what works for them and how you can help them to trust you enough to train with you and to learn options.
Right.
And that starts with, you know, when they walk in the door. You know, we start out in my sitting area where we are sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And I start out with telling them, hey, this is your training. You know, when there's the bathroom, there's the water. The temperature, is the temperature okay for you?
Yeah.
Tell me, you know, it's your training, so you are in control. You are in control of when we're taking a break, when you
Right.
want to take a break.
So you're very passionate about making each client or individual or student very comfortable from the get-go, from the very beginning, very comfortable about what they're going to do.
Yes.
With you and
Yes.
at this place. And I feel like that's definitely a very big missing component in both traditional martial arts and in the self-defense side of things, and martial arts in general, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, because as soon as we walk into most of the places that we visited, I can honestly say that maybe a handful of places made us feel actually comfortable to be there, where, you know, and of course maybe their focus was not on self-defense, but I feel like that doesn't matter. I feel like, you know, any martial arts school, whether it's self-defense, traditional, or MMA or whatever, you got to make people feel comfortable because they're going into something that's very uncomfortable. And so do you feel like if the martial arts industry started to address that more people would be inspired to participate? Because the word would get out, you know, that, hey, this is a very comfortable thing to start. And you know, and later on it's not comfortable because you kind of got to go through growing pains.
All right.
But I feel like that might be something we have to address.
I think we could do better in
Okay.
that with martial arts. Like giving a roadmap,
Yeah.
you know, letting people know what's coming, what's expected,
Yeah.
without sacrificing quality,
Okay.
because that's important too. I think if you want to teach a traditional martial art, you probably don't want to water it down.
Yeah.
You want to teach what is required to preserve that art.
Right.
And that's a little bit more the way I see it, focused on the art, and the client adapts to the art or they don't, and then they don't progress to the black belt, and maybe
Okay.
they shouldn't.
Okay.
Whereas in self-defense, my focus is on my client. My
Right.
focus is on this woman who is being threatened by her ex,
Yeah.
and I need to learn a lot from this person first,
Okay.
what her situation is, and in order to learn from her so that I can tailor the training to what she needs, I need to develop the trust,
Right.
which means I need to take the time you know.
Right.
And that's with my private clients. We have a no charge initial conversation.
Okay.
So that and I have had clients who, for the first time, told their story and felt comfortable to tell their story.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
And then we start the training.
I see.
Graduated.
Right. Because then it makes them feel that they are in a place where they can confide in you, they can train with you, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I definitely really appreciate that approach, because the people that really need self-defense need to be able to have a place where they can feel that safe and comfortable. And if they don't have that, well, then they're not going to go.
Yeah. Plus,
You know?
I mean, we know, you don't learn if you don't feel safe
Exactly.
with anything,
Right.
because that's the
Right.
basic need. You need to
Right.
feel safe first before the cognitive brain can engage and learn.
Right.
And of course, we want the body to learn
Right.
too, but we want them to feel safe and comfortable. And,
Okay.
yeah.
How would you attract people to come in and train self-defense before they get into a situation?
That's a great question.
Like, why do you think people disregard it until something happens?
Yes.
And then the light comes on that this is something that I need to do.
Yeah, it's always too late, by the time they...
I don't think I have completely answered that question for myself yet, but one area where I think we could do better is in conveying to the public what self-defense is. That
Okay.
it isn't just defending against a gun and kicking and eye gouging and
Okay.
all the
Okay.
violent stuff, but self-defense is protecting your boundaries and protecting your core every day, on a daily basis, in your work life, in your family life. When you go to college, it's not just protecting against sexual assault, but it's protecting your sanity against your roommate who wants to play music until 4 a.m.
Right.
or wants to borrow money from you constantly, or use your car. So
Right.
it's setting personal boundaries.
Would you like to see this as a program in school, like an additional class, as a, in addition to math and science and English, and it's just that's something that's very missing.
Yeah. Exactly.
In our development from children to adults. No one ever learns and teaches
Yeah,
that.
it's like we're learning about academics and stuff, but then there's this whole other side of life
Right.
that we're supposed to know, but we don't.
Yeah.
And that part of it is actually, like you said, that daily habit of defending your way of life personally, mentally, emotionally, physically. Like self-defense is this entire thing that you're right. It's only being addressed on the physical end. And even on that, it's not even being addressed that properly. Right. And so, just like she asked, I mean,
I never learned how to set boundaries until maybe 5 years ago.
There you go.
I went and looking for that information because I was lacking in that area. And so it's just like learning and just the self-awareness and yourself. And I just feel like that's totally missing from our whole society.
Right.
And how can we get this in schools? Do you have ideas for this?
I was a successful trial lawyer for many years. Did I know how to set boundaries? No. Did I know? Was I self-aware? No.
Okay.
These are skills that everybody could benefit from.
Okay.
And yes, I do think it would be good to have some offerings for kids in school, for people in general, on how to set your boundaries, how to protect yourself, and that's why I call my program holistic self-defense, because it is that. It is protecting your well-being. And that translates, that mental and emotional well-being translates into physical well-being too. Because your body will let you know when you don't take care of yourself, when you're stressed out because you have no boundaries, or you don't know how to protect what is really important to you.
Right.
So yes, I think that would be very valuable, and I think it is being recognized a little bit more these days. And I don't know if you saw that on my website, but I have a person on my team who is trained in the mental aspects.
Okay.
Self-protection on a mental and psychological level.
Wow.
Who is my resource.
Okay.
He's an equine therapist right now in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay. And so you're obviously you're paired up with this person to be able to offer a much higher quality approach to self-defense.
Yes.
And not just the physical part of it.
Yeah.